for the observant out there, I am still wearing my pajamas. It is only a few moments since my last video, but I want you to think it's a few days or hours at least. So I know I'm spoiling the illusion of social media, but I'm not one for following social norms. Anyway, I thought, as this is a blog about epilepsy, you tend to hear people moan? Sorry. You tend to hear people complain more about side effects of medication than you do the seizures themselves. The seizures are a thing. They just happen, and they're quite predictable for some people, and they know how they feel afterwards, and there's a beginning, middle, and an end. It's essentially a story, and it's a story. So because it's a story, people are able to rationalize it. People are able to make sense of it, and people are able to put it in a box and keep it there. However, when it comes to adding medication, especially changing medication, what you're doing is you're taking it out of that box, and it no longer fits in that box anymore. So I'm currently going through a significant medication change, where I'm coming from medication Tegretol, which I've taken my entire life, and I'm now taking cenobamate along with other medications, purely for the purpose of reducing the amount of rescue medications that I need to take in a day, which is just even if you know nothing about epilepsy, it sounds like a good thing, doesn't it, to take less of the rescue medicine. So it's like avoid Lassie coming out to come and save you. But it hasn't been without its ups and downs. You get to a dosage, and then you go up, and then you start to see the side effects. So I noticed for a while my speech became slurred, to the extent my work sent me home. I'm very fortunate. I work in a family business, and they sent me home, and that was okay. And also what became very weird is my coordination went. Again, all these things are written on the box, it should have been no surprise. I didn't read the box. I never read the box. I don't ever want to know what's in it. I never, ever want to know what the side effects are. However, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things that we have to get through. And make sense of. It's not get through. Just make sense of and accept.
Let's find the rainbow up high in the sky.
One of my daughter's toys is still on. So it's about making sense of epilepsy rather than accepting it, coming to terms with it. As a long-term member, I find that if you're able to make sense of your situation and able to accept the fact that ultimately, unless someone goes in my head, takes out the tumour without damaging anything we should damage, I will always have seizures. And as long as there's a tumour there, I will always have seizures. So they can give me all the wonderful medicines, and quite frankly, they're very expensive medicines. I looked it up, and I have the best team of people, the most wonderful team of people who would answer any question, but I think for someone new to epilepsy, the trick is not to find the answer quickly, unless you have epilepsy because you have a sudden onset seizures and you have a brain tumor, and it's a different kettle of fish. But if you're someone who has seizures and there's no obvious cause, you need to come to terms quite quickly with the fact that you are having to reframe your life a bit. And by reframe, I mean accept some things you maybe wouldn't have accepted in the past. And join the club I suppose, and come to terms with the fact that the medication they give us isn't magic seizure medication, although it is. They're sedatives. So yes, they'll make you drowsy. Yes, they'll make you weirdly coordinated and talk funny. And yes, they'll make you fart accidentally. I seem to be farting a lot recently. Sorry about that. And yes, they'll make you forget things and struggle with concentration. But that goes away. It does go away. Some of it at least. But hopefully seizures do too. And it's a trade-off. It's a trade whether you want the seizures or do you want the side effects. So for me this week, I upped a dose knowing that I would have more side effects. But I'm having fewer seizures. I'm able to work. Phone calls at certain times of the day are not a good option. However, there's a workaround. And that's my advice for new people who are new to epilepsy is bear with it. Because even the most brilliant neurologists in the country, world, or whatever, don't have the answer. They don't have the solution. They have about 20, lots of different ones all on the sheet, and they work through them. And that's how we get here. So here for me is trying about 15 different medications. The best medication I ever took turned out to cause blindness, so I'm not allowed to take that anymore. But I would take it today if they let me. It's my child's toy again. But if you're taking and have tried in your life that many medications, you know there's not going to be a quick answer. I mean, I came to terms with the fact there wasn't going to be an answer. And then someone offers you a possibility of an answer. Actually, that's a very exciting day. But as a teenager, I grew up knowing that it's likely that I'm going to be taking anti-epileptic medication for the rest of my entire life, which actually isn't that bad. It's not that bad because left uncontrolled. What's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen is the worst, and that's why we take it. So we need to remind ourselves, although our side effects are horrible, although we might get confused or irritable, any number of side effects, we're here, still here, and 100 years ago we wouldn't have been. We just wouldn't be. Anyway, that's a really dour note to end on. I should say something upbeat. We're here! Yay! 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 We're here! I should have done it like that, but I've not done this for a long time.